everybody, it's Trixie. Welcome to the underground. I'm only in the sixth circle of hell with the Big E. The Big E has started. It took me an hour to get down the street to get to work. That's how it goes, and I expect this for the next 2 weeks, but it was just different. I guess the first day was really busy because they hardly charged anything. It was a military appreciation day, so all the cheap people went, so it was crowded. The second day, it was all kids with green hair and tattoos. So I didn't really do that well, and neither did anybody in our building that had home improvement and stuff. So we'll see what happens. They raised the price to $20 to get in. You count that with $20 for parking, and then you got kids. The economy's not that great. I don't care what anybody says. I'm doing good, but you feel for people that have kids. It's like, how do they pay their bills? I got a lot of emails about my foot, and I thank you for that. You guys were wishing me well, telling me what to do. At least this week I'm not limping. Buggy. You didn't sweep the place, John. Sorry. So, it's okay. So thank you for all that. I'll be up on my feet. I'm actually trying to bike right after this. I tried last week. I'm on the, with my doctor saying you got to cut it in half, and I did, and then I had throbbing feet. So I'm going to go after this and see what happens, but at least I don't have to work till Tuesday. So I had a contest with the hats, my black and blue. I had 2 winners. I know I was only going to pick one, but I kind of just was a softie, and my promotions department's going to get mad at me. But I picked 2. They were so close together in the guessing, and I swear I had PTSD with all you guys saying Ducati. So I had to relive the accident. But thanks for all the people that joined the contest, and congratulations to David and Chris, who I will be giving hats to. And let's go to the show. Let's start it. One other thing about the Big E. They're in the building. There's this guy, and I don't know, he's a drag queen or if he's a transsexual. He's been there for 6 years. He pulls a wagon, and this guy, he must bring 3 different dresses, because I have a 6-hour shift. And he goes in, he's got a white dress, then you see him, he's got a red dress, then he's got a black dress. And the funny thing is, he's walking around there, everybody knows his name, and nobody bats an eye. Because why? I don't know. It's Massachusetts. I can't figure it out. But it's kind of funny that if he was in South Carolina, I don't know, or maybe Texas, he'd be shot at. So let me just go. I'm going to talk a little bit about sports. You see me with my Skins shirt on. Everybody's talking about Aaron Rodgers. That, to me, he looked like he was a little shaky in the pocket before he got hurt and before he tore his Achilles. He's going to try to come back, and this season, I doubt it. He's 39. He still gets his $75 million. The where he fell, the tackle was nothing. I mean, that's how you get hurt anyway. They blamed it on the turf. It's not the turf. He looked awkward, moving around the pocket. He was off. And they were making such a big deal about him. I just think that, to give him guaranteed $75 million, why don't you just tie it to incentives when he's that old? And I don't mean to call it old. He's not old, but he's not Tom Brady. Tom Brady, except for that one where what did he do? He tore something, and he was out for the whole season. But this guy is, and I didn't like him last year over that COVID thing. He was like, I did my own research. Novak Djokovic did the same thing, and he wasn't allowed in the country. If you decide not to get the shot, I get it. I'm going to get the shot. But, the way Aaron went on and on and on about it, it was like, you know what? Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not a doctor. Just be quiet. You don't want to get the shot? Fine. I don't care. Just a little bit more in politics. Mitt Romney said a very large portion of my party really doesn't believe in the Constitution. This is like the last normal Republican. He wondered what role the mainstream, the reasonable Republicans, people like him, played in allowing the rot on the right to fester. He realized this recently. I don't know why it's been going on since McCain. I remember when he had that town hall, and they were talking big. It was big about healthcare, and they were saying, well, what do you want to do about the people that are sick? And then they said, let them get sick and die. That's been the Republican thing. Let them get sick and die. So thank God for Obama. He gave us the Affordable Care Act, and 40-something million people have health care. People don't understand, but you need health care. I get it, because I have ties to the medical industry with doctors in the ER, and they tell me about how people were using the ER for their doctors. And see, we get charged for that. The hospital doesn't really pay for that. They put those costs onto us, okay? So it kind of saves money for us to get insured. Again, Mitt Romney is not seeking re-election. He thinks he's too old. He says, I don't think that we need more politicians in their 80s. Someone didn't tell Donald Trump and Biden that, because this is what we have to choose from. He wants the next generation to step up. I think this is really cool. Nancy Pelosi did that, and I think Mitch McConnell, with all these freezes that he's going through, Mr. Freeze, he said Trump's party represents resentment, getting even, settling scores, revisiting the 2020 election, and he's wondering about the politics of the future. Young people will not vote for, like basically not caring about the environment. They're more like apt to accept gay people. Kevin McCarthy opens up an impeachment inquiry on Joe Biden. Really, you're wasting my money. Please don't do this. It's really not going to help the Republicans any. Yes, his kid is not cool. Okay, Hunter Biden, I don't know what he did with Ukraine, but it was not good. Okay, all that money he took, he didn't deserve it. I don't think Biden is involved in it, and I just don't. I think it's going to backfire, but. I just think, you guys are backing Trump. He's got 4 indictments. What do you think? You care about this? You care about criminals? I don't think so. It's so hypocritical of them. It just makes me I'll never be Republican because of the way you're doing things. If you were like Mitt Romney, even Liz Cheney, if you had some kind of integrity, like Alyssa Farah Griffin, normal, traditional conservatives, I wish you could go back to that and leave the Trump party behind. I don't get it. The notice to the crazies on the right. You won't get normal people with all this BS, okay? There's nobody good to pick from. I wouldn't even vote for Biden, even though he's done a good job, I thought. I know you're blaming everything from gas prices to the inflation on him. Not everything has to do with that. He did some good things with the drugs, like 10 drugs that are going to be lowered, and people like, not me, but older people that are on cholesterol, diabetes, all this other stuff. And that's a big thing for drug prices, because I know I'm on an expensive drug, and, I kind of slithered my way and thought of a way out. But, other people aren't that lucky. So I just, Hunter's a druggie. We all know this. And, with the gun thing, and this never gets tried, by the way. And if it does, he gets a slap on the wrist. But they're doing this for political reasons. Yeah, should he be punished? Sure. He got a gun. He lied about being a druggie. But, oh my God, this is what makes me think they ask him a question. Are you a drug addict? He says no. Is that it? That's the criteria? You can lie? I don't get it. I mean, great. Great gun guys. You guys are really cool. The UAW is striking. Which, look, I give respect for these guys. They're building these cars that not me, I don't really buy those big cars. They want a 40% pay raise. I mean, look, I believe in pay raises, but they want to make as much as the CEOs, okay? Come on now. That's like, come on. And I believe in better healthcare, pensions. Go ahead. You can fight for that. But as the CEO said, we'll go bankrupt. I do believe that. I do believe that they would go bankrupt. And I remember Ford. They offered them like a 20% pay raise. They'll get something. They need to compromise. But way back in the day, Ford paid his workers so they could afford to buy his cars. And I like that, because these guys are saying we cannot afford to buy their cars. And I think that's a good point. Like, pay them enough where they aren't complaining, but sometimes they just ask for too much. Jack Smith, the special counsel, wants a narrow gag order for Trump. Are you kidding me? What do you mean you can't shut this guy's mouth? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But I guess they're getting death threats. The judge is getting death threats. Jackie's getting death threats. I'm not really surprised. I'm not surprised at that. What about that NBA player that collapsed? Brandon Hunter? Was that his name? He played for the Celtics. He collapsed. Now, he played basketball professionally, okay? He died during yoga stretching. Are you kidding me? Is yoga that bad? I don't want to stretch. I don't like those poses. TSA workers stealing from passengers. 3 have been arrested. They have had him on video, like taking money out. That is like, they're taking my suntan lotion. That's the first thing I think of. I put my money on me, okay? Don't worry about that. Why are people keeping their money and making it go through like that? I keep my money on my body. That's it. They can have my drugs. I just think these people are greedy. I'm sure they get paid enough money. I have to breathe. A woman posted online that she checked her boyfriend's phone. Female intuition. Have you ever done that? Would you ever do that? He texted she's boring, doesn't like the sex, and he's going to leave her. Sometimes you may not want to find out what your other half thinks of you. I'd rather know. I kind of would maybe do that if I was thinking somebody was cheating on me. And Just to know so I didn't leave for no reason. It's not good to snoop. I get it. But probably if you're snooping and you're sinking to that level, then you're probably right. They're probably not the person. I had a woman that I was dating that was like that you didn't trust. I was right anyway. You know what I'm saying? If things happen for a reason, relationships don't work out for a reason. Okay, so let's go on with the Jets and the Bills. So Aaron Rodgers went down. It was an innocuous hit. He looked out of sorts from the beginning. His Achilles will take him maybe 9 months. Dan Marino went through the same thing, but he was, I think, 32. And he came back, set all sorts of records. I just think this is a different thing. Now, it's looking like Mike White should have been with the Jets and let that other guy go. Zach Wilson, he's not good. He's not good. Robert Saleh is saying, yeah, he has faith in him. What's he going to say? He sucks? But I just think if I were Aaron Rodgers, give that money back. You don't deserve it. You played 4 snaps. The players union wants to get rid of, so they're blaming artificial turf. I don't think it was the turf that made him go down. I just think he landed awkwardly, and then things happen in sports. These are the injuries that I just think that they should not guarantee this money. My Skins won last week. I don't know that they're going to win this week. They're playing Denver. I love Jimmy Garoppolo. He won against the Broncos. He's so cute. That's like my male fantasy. I'm in love. I saw this movie last night, just a little bit at the end here. The Boys in the Band. Now, this is like a bunch of gay guys in the 70s, okay? It was right before, I guess it was a play, and it was right before the Stonewall riots, okay? So this was kind of controversial. So they had a bunch of gay guys that were having a birthday party, and so they had the queen, who was like very flamey, and then the guy that couldn't commit, he's in a relationship, but he sleeps around on his boyfriend, and then the other guy who hates, self-loathing, homosexual, and just every type of gay you can imagine. They were all drinking, getting drunk, and then fighting after, and then clawing at each other. And then the straight guy shows up. And so one of the gay guys that was his friend thought he was gay. They had this game where you had to phone somebody that you were in love with, and you had to call them, connect to them, and it was like you get a point for calling, you get a point for connecting, you get a point for saying I love you. I don't think I'd call anybody. I don't even think I've ever been in love, really, truly. Yeah, I don't know if I want the aggravation. It fades for me. How do you keep it exciting after a couple of years? I don't know. But they had the straight guy who actually punched the effeminate guy, and then he felt bad. I don't think he was really gay, even though the friend accused him, you're a closet case, you hung around with a gay guy. And he goes, he lied about me. I wouldn't sleep with him, so he lied about me, which is possible. And then he made the call, and it was actually to his wife. And I thought that was interesting. He was really straight. The gay guy grabs the phone. He's like, whatever, Justin. And it was the wife. So it was really like very disturbing, but I got to tell you, my mother forced me to watch it. She came in my room at like 3 a.m. You got to watch this movie. This is when she was coming to terms with me being gay. And it kind of shaped the way I viewed being gay or bisexual. And I think that's why I think there's no bisexuals, because in the movie it said you could live a straight lifestyle, you could get married, but you will always be gay. So that's like what I base it on, is you can go and sleep with whoever you want and call yourself bi, because maybe it's easier to live a straight life, but you're still going to be gay. That's the way I look at bis. I've never met a true bisexual. That's why I say this. There may be, I just haven't met her yet, or him. Usually they're tilting towards one way, and they're usually gay, and they just they don't have the guts to either tell the husband or tell the girlfriend or boyfriend that it's very tough to live a gay life. It's very lonely, and really there's nothing going on. I mean, I don't fit into any life, to be honest with you. I go to these lesbian dances. I call them the oxygen tank dance, because the woman drags her oxygen tanks onto the dance floor, and that's like not me. And plus, they sit down. I don't go to a bar and sit down. And then they play Paul Anka, Having My Baby. Okay, that's not my thing. And then you go to the straight bars, and then there's back rooms where they have sex with strangers, and that's not for me either. But I love the pump and thramping music. It's great. The music is great. It makes me think, and I'll end my podcast with this, of the Saturday Night Live skit where they show all the gay guys frolicking around the pool, having a great time, and then they show the 2 lesbians crying in bed. I don't want to be the lesbian crying in bed. That's the way it is. I'm going on my bike. I love you guys. Expect the hats. They're coming. You can email me at TRIXXI'S@gmail.com and subscribe. It's free. Subscribe. I love you guys. We'll see you again next week.